Hi, this is Brad Miller, pastor at Otterbein UMC in Indianapolis and Philadelphia UMC in Greenfield. And I have this encouraging story for you called Just Checking In. A minister was passing through his church in the middle of the day, decided to pause by the altar to see who would come to pray. Just then the back door opened, a man came down the aisle. The minister frowned as he saw the man hadn't shaved for a while. His shirt was kind of shabby and his coat was worn and frayed. The man knelt, he bowed his head, and then rose and walked away. In the days that followed, each new time came this chap. Each time he knelt just for a moment, a lunch pail on his lap. Well, the minister's suspicions grew, with robbery a main fear. He decided to stop the man and ask him, "What are you doing here?" The old man said he worked down the road. Lunch was half an hour. Lunchtime was his prayer time for finding strength and faith and power. I stay only moments, see, the factory is so far away. As I kneel here talking to the Lord, this is kind of what I say. I just came to tell you, Lord, how happy I have been since we found each other's friendship and you took away my sin. Don't know how much to pray, but I think about you every day. So, Jesus, this is Jim, just checking in. The minister, feeling foolish, told Jim that was fine. He told the man he was welcome to come and pray anytime. Time to go, Jim smiled and said thanks as he hurried to the door. The minister knelt at the altar. He'd never done that before. His cold heart melted, warmed with love, and met with Jesus there. As the tears flowed in his heart, he repeated old Jim's prayer. I just came again to tell you, Lord, how happy I have been since we found each other's friendship and you took away my sin. Don't know how much to pray, but I think about you every day. So, Jesus, this is me, just checking in. Past noon one day, the minister noticed that old Jim had not come by. As more days passed with no sign of Jim, he began to worry. At the factory, he asked about him, learning he was ill. The hospital staff was worried. But Jim gave them a thrill. The week that Jim was with them, he brought changes to the ward. His smiles, the joy contagious, changed people were his reward. The head nurse couldn't understand why Jim was so glad. When no flowers, calls, or cards came, not a visitor he had. The minister stayed by Jim's bed. He voiced the nurse's concern. No friends came to show they cared. He had nowhere to turn. Looking surprised, old Jim spoke up with a winsome smile. The nurse is wrong. She couldn't know that I'm in here all the while. Every day at noon, he's here. A dear friend of mine, you see. He just sits right down, takes my hand, leans over, and says to me, I just came again to tell you, Jim, how happy I have been since we found this wonderful friendship and I took away your sin. I always love to hear you pray and to think about you every day. And so, Jim, this is Jesus, just checking in. Just checking in. This is Pastor Brad Miller from Otterbein Church and Philadelphia Church. Take care, God bless, and continue to check in.